So, friends, today we have a very interesting subject: noise, coherence, and meditation challenges to modern science. And today's speaker is an eminent physicist from India, Professor Sisir Roy. He is visiting professor and senior Homi Bhabha Fellow, National Institute of Advanced Study, Bengaluru. We all know that a lot of research is going on yoga and meditation, and the researchers they are trying to find out the neuronal effects of this meditation on brain. And there are different stages of meditation, classes of meditation. We can say some prajat samadhi, some prajat, like that. But it has become very difficult scientifically to categorize these things. So our today's eminent speaker is going to speak on these issues, and I welcome you all on behalf of Maharshi Dayanand Saraswati Chair to this lecture. And now I invite our honored speaker to start his
Uh,
lecture. Professor Roy.
Good evening. Thank you, Professor Ravi Prakash Arya, to invite me to deliver a lecture on a very uh, difficult subject.
Yeah.
Difficult, I will explain why it is difficult
Mhm.
from scientific point of view. All you know that all over the world, many research centers where neurobiologists, psychologists, scientists, computer scientists, physicists, they're all involved to study the effect of meditations on the different areas of the brain and try to find out the correspondence between neuronal dynamics and the meditation. But there are a lot of limitations and challenges to this meditation research. And very little number of people, they are aware of this kind of problem. To understand this kind of problem, we need the expertise of both physicists, other kind of scientists, as well as the traditional scholars. So I like to have the opinion of you people who are really traditional scholars who have much knowledge or more knowledge than me, because I am a physicist and I don't have that kind of expertizations in meditation. I mean, the deep meditation. So let me start with my presentation. And the name of the presentation is Noise, Coherence and Meditation, Challenges to Modern Science. Let me, yeah. Now can you see it?
Yes, yes, yeah. We can see.
Okay. So I have published a book, recent book, 2 months before. The name of the book is Noise and Randomness in Living Systems, with one of my young collaborators from Italy.
Mhm.
So this book is divided into two parts. One part, the noise and randomness in science and engineering, and the other part, the noise and randomness in living organisms. You might surprise that why I am telling about noise and randomness in case of meditation. The 13th chapter of this book dealt with noise coherence here, noise coherence uh, in meditation. So I will try to explain why I am first telling something about noise, because noise, all of us know that noise plays a very destructive role in telecommunication system. Like in a telephone call or in a television, you will find sometimes very many kind of disturbances. So these disturbances are noise, and we need to minimize this disturbance so that signal will be more and more. So the first questions you can ask me, what is noise? Noise in any physical system The fundamental fact is that when the signal voltage arrives the demodulator, it will be accompanied by voltage waveform which varies with time in an unpredictable manner. And this unpredictable voltage waveform constitute a random process and usually known as noise. Here the signal plays, here the noise plays a destructive role since it corrupts the signal. Then the next question comes, why we need to understand noise?
Dr. Roy, sorry to disturb. I would just suggest to you, you
Yeah.
go on slideshow and present from current slide. हमें पढ़ने के लिए दिक्कत होता है. We can't read from the presentation. So if you go on slideshow,
Yeah.
No, but this slide is visible. I think
it's difficult to read. It's small because if you present from the slide, from
To
slide
make-
wise,
yes, you make it full screen or slideshow so that this
yeah.
the slide becomes bigger.
Can you see
appears-
it now?
That you go to the slideshow on your self.
No, I made it full screen now.
Uh-huh. Full screen. No, you made it through this right side hand.
Yeah,
But,
right side there is icon, slideshow.
Uh-huh.
I
The-
clicked it here.
Yeah.
Excuse me, all you have to do is pinch it out and it gets bigger.
Now you can see it.
No, we can see, but that smaller
The
size.
characters are small, difficult to read.
Slideshow is not visible. Slideshows.
No, slideshow is visible in my screen, and I
Okay.
click there. Then
Okay.
in my screen, the full screen is occupied by the slide.
Oh,
Yes, you have to pinch it out and then it gets bigger to fill up the entire screen.
Yeah, from my screen it is no problem, but I don't understand why.
okay. You carry
Okay,
on.
continue.
Okay, so
Thank you.
the first question is why we need to understand noise. Because noise is often a limiting factor for performance of any device or system like electrical devices, telecommunication systems, etc. So to have greater performances, we need to lower the noise. But there is a phenomena called stochastic resonance in nonlinear systems which change the whole paradigm. In this nonlinear system, the noise plays a constructive role rather than destructive role. I will try to explain this in a few minutes. Now, how do you present the noise? I am telling it because this kind of knowledge will help us to understand, even to categorize the different states of meditation. And I will try to explain what do you mean by different states of meditation and from where we are considering, or the manuscript or the scriptures from where we are taking it. So normally a noise is represented by a spectral density. The spectral density is 1 by f to the power gamma. F is the frequency and gamma lies between 0 and 1. If gamma is 0, then we say called white noise. If gamma is 1, we say pink noise. If gamma is 2, then we say red noise. And different types of noise are there, like thermal or Johnson noise, short noise, 1 by f noise, sometimes called flicker or pink noise. Okay. And mathematical description of the noise can be done with autocorrelation functions, etc. I'm not going into details because I presume there are many audiences here who may not have sufficient knowledge in understanding this. So I'm skipping this one. Now you can visualize I am making a comparison between different types of noise. This is the spectrum for white noise, where I say 1 by f to the power gamma. If gamma is 0, then it is called white noise. Then if gamma is -1, then it is called pink noise. Gamma is -2, we say red noise. Now you can, a beautiful picture by a very internationally famous artist, Sisir. You see that this is the picture with a lot of noise. And if you filter the noise, I mean, this is very common in engineering.
The
That-
slides are not shuffling. The
It's not
same
visible.
slide. Why we need to understand noise? Only this slide is visible still.
Oh, this slide, next slide, it's not visible.
No, no.
Okay.
Ah, yeah.
Now,
Now, effect of noise. This is visible now.
yeah, effects of noise. I mean, this is a very famous picture of painter, Sisir. And engineering people, normally, they reduce the noise using filter. So this is the picture with noise. But if you use filter to reduce the noise, then this will be the right picture, right painting. So effect of noise is everywhere in engineering and many other disciplines. Now I will say something about stochastic resonance. Stochastic resonance is a phenomena discovered in nonlinear dynamics by which the very small noise enhances the threshold signal. So this phenomena proves that even the noise which plays a destructive role in uh, science and technology, here it plays a constructive role because it enhances the signal. So this character of noise is very much important for biological systems because all biological systems are associated with nonlinear dynamics. Now, stochastic resonance and sensory biology. It has a lot of applications in sensory biology. And there are many, many technical questions. I'm not going into details of technical questions, like whether stochastic resonance occur at the level of single ion channel. What is ion channel? In human brain, in every neuron, every nerve cell called neuron, they contain thousands and thousands of channels. Channels are like pores in the protein. And the different type of ions, potassium, sodium, calcium, they pass through different channels. Say we say potassium channel, we say calcium channel, we say sodium channel. So what is the role of this ion channel? The ion channel plays a very important role in propagating the information in brain. Now, I will show you later the picture of the ion channel like a cylinder at the nanoscale. It had two gates, one on the upper side, one on the lower side. When the gate is open, ion enters into the channel, then gate closes, and finally it comes out of the other end. So this opening and closing of the gates of the ion channel produces some kind of noise. And this noise has also been shown to affect the cognitive function in human brain. So the noise produced by ion channel should be considered in any type understanding functioning of the human brain. Now, the second question, whether stochastic resonance is exploited by central nervous system and brain is a part of neural code. Answer is yes. Okay. And what are the main sources of noise in biology or biological system? One is physical, like thermodynamics and quantum theory put physical limit to the efficiency of all information handling system, both in case of physical as well as biological system. In case of sensory, thermodynamics or quantum theory puts limits to the external stimuli and hence they are intrinsically noisy. Then at the cellular level, as I told you, ion channel, at the synaptic level, and also at the network level. Then in case of motor function, motor neurons, twitches, contraction of muscle fiber, etc. And of course, trial to trial variability of behavior. So what is the meaning of noise in biological system? I am telling all these things on the apprehension that when we try to go directly to meditation research, then this kind of understanding of noise may help us to understanding the meditation from the biological or neurobiological point of view. So what is the meaning of noise in biological system? In biological system, noise refers to variability in behavior, variability at the neuronal level, and variability at the level of gene expression. So in general, we say that what is meant by noise. We define noise in very general term as unwanted variation. I mean, it also depends on the context. Like if I say that somebody is very deeply interested in Carnatic classical music, but he doesn't have any interest in Hindustani classical music. So for him, Hindustani classical music, if you play it or if you listen to it, it seems to be noise. So noise here, we say in very general term, unwanted variation, and it depends on the context also. Now, the question is coherence and noise. These terms are taken from the optics or branch of physics. So what is meant by that? If you look at the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, there is one part called Samadhi Pada. Samadhi Pada starts with Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Now we can think that it means Chitta Vritti Nirodha means cessation or control of the fluctuation of the mind, control of the perturbation of the mind. So here, this control of the perturbation or cessation of the perturbation. So this perturbation is nothing but, we say, noise in meditation, noise in yoga and meditation. And I will tell you something more, that what are the sources of the noise in case of meditation, like brain and body also. And what is coherence? Coherence, I mean, if you look at the neuronal level of the brain, and if you consider a cortical area, then you can select two groups of neurons, say at a particular distance. And these two groups of neurons are represented by a signal called which is amplitude and phase. So when you say coherence, means when the phases are correlated with particular angle, we say that there is coherence among the two groups of neurons. And this term coherence plays very important role in understanding the states of meditation. Now I like to show you a video. I don't know whether I'll be able to start it. Let me start. This man, most of you know, he is a legendary figure in Kashmiri Shaivism. His name is Lakshmanju. And he was chanting a particular mantra. Let me try to do it. Yeah, just a minute. I'm trying to run the video.
No problem, no problem.
Okay. No, this video is not running, so I can tell you what is there in this video.
Okay.
Lakshmanju was chanting Om Namah Shivaya. So he was chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Oh, I have to go to the market today. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. So this kind of scattered thoughts, nothing but noise in scientific terms, noise in meditation. If you chant it, or even if you concentrate or put your attention on a particular object, this kind of thoughts will come. These are called unwanted variation in this context. So it is called noise. Now, let us try to understand what are the states of meditation. There are three main sources from which I have taken this idea or try to elaborate the states of meditation. One is Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, Samadhi Pada. Then in Buddhist text, 740 AD, Bhavana Kram, written by Kamal Shila, the Buddhist monk. Bhavana Kram means krama means sequence, and Bhavana is meditation. So sequence of meditation. And Gyanarnava by Subhash Chandra Jain scholar, 11th century. So these three are very good source of understanding states of meditation. And we try to follow the state or try to understand the states of meditation from these three sources. But of course, it's a vast subject. So we have not yet finished. We are trying to understand it. So what are these various states means? There are two main categories of meditation according to Patanjali. One is Sampragnata Samadhi, another is Asampragnata Samadhi. So what is Sampragnata Samadhi? Sampragnata Samadhi is that which is accompanied by reasoning, reflection, ecstasy, and pure eye sense. What is Asampragnata Samadhi? When all the vrittis or thought waves in the mind are stopped, only the samskaras of nirodha remain as a residue. It is called Asampragnata Samadhi. Now you can ask what are the vrittis. You know, all of you know what is vritti. This is 5 types of vrittis are there: valid cognition, wrong cognition, imaginary cognition, sleep and memory, and asampragnata is also known as a cognitive samadhi. And this is very, very crucial point. Maybe you people who are traditional scholars, they will be able to enlighten me on this particular or a cognitive samadhi, because we had some confusion. Like in case of sampragnata samadhi, it is said they are related to cognitive activities in the brain. Now, in case of asampragnata samadhi, some people say, at least I read some of the commentaries of Patanjali, they said that it is not cognitive, it is a cognitive samadhi. So I have not reached to certain state, that state of meditation personally. That's why I cannot say whether it is a cognitive state or cognitive state. Now, how do you find the neuronal correlates and scientific inquiry? What is meant by that? Because what people do in various labs all over the world, they ask or they divide two groups of people. One group of people who have trained in meditation, and another group of people who are untrained people. So they put both the groups under scanner. Scanner means EEG imaging technique, fMRI imaging technique, MEG imaging technique, and many other imaging techniques. So what they do, they try to find out that when these two groups of people under the scanner or different imaging devices, they are put under that, then whether there is at all any changes at the neuronal level. If there is changes, what kind of changes are there? There are many, many parameters scientists are trying to understand, like blood flow, like coherence. So many, many parameters are there. But we think that to understand the different states of samadhi or different states of meditation, the coherence is a very good parameter, a very good concept. Not the coherence. What if you look at any EEG machine in modern days, then there is a built-in program in the EEG machine, and there is a term called degree of coherence. And this degree of coherence lies between 0 and 1. I will show you 1 or 2 slides regarding the mathematical structure, what we mean by degree of coherence. And if degree of coherence is 0, then we say it is not coherent, it is incoherent. If it is 1, maximum coherence is there. So, sorry. So the issue is whether we can characterize the states of meditation with the help of this concept, degree of coherence. Before that, let me show you that summary of meditation categories and associated EEG frequencies in the brain. There are different varieties of meditation practices like Vipassana, Sahaja Yoga, there will be many other types. And depending on the practice of particular type of meditation, the scientists, they found that particular areas of the brain, there is dominance of particular type of waves in the brain. You know, in the brain, there are different type of brain waves like alpha, beta, gamma, delta, theta, etc. Gamma is the highest frequency band, lies between 30 to 100 hertz. And delta is very, very small frequency. So they found that if you practice, say, vipassana, then it is found that in your prefrontal lobe, there is a dominance of gamma waves. Gamma means high frequency waves. But if you practice certain other meditation techniques, then you will see that dominance of, say, alpha waves or beta waves or even delta waves. Why? The one reason is that these waves are usually associated with cognitive activities. And because we are practicing different type of practices of meditation, so different type of cognitive activities are associated with that. Again, you can divide the various states of sampragnata samadhi. There are, you can categorize into 4 levels. I mean, there are many, many sub-levels. I am not going into details of the sub-level. One is, if you look at the 4 states, then Savitarka samadhi, which depends on gross thought. Savichara samadhi depends on the same gross thoughts turned subtle. Then Shananda samadhi depends on more subtle support accompanied by ecstasy, and Susmita samadhi depends solely on the pure I-ness. Now, each new level of knowledge causes disappear for the previous false or limited conception. Each level is purer than the lower level because of the increased predominance of Sattva-guna. So the classification is made according to the alambana, the type of settlement and process involved, and the associated knowledge and dispassion acquired from it. Now, what are the main observations from traditional wisdom? The main observations are the various states of meditation as described in Patanjali or Bhavanakrama Kamalshila or the joint text. The states of meditation in general or generally, I will tell you why I am telling generally, because states of meditation are discrete. The state occur in succession and may not persist for longer time. Third one, various states of sampragnata samadhi are associated with cognitive activity, which I have mentioned. The different type of brain waves dominate in different cortical areas and associated with different cognitive activity. Now, asampragnata samadhi is a cognitive state. Here lies the issue or problem which the traditional scholar like you can clarify to me. Then purification of the mind occurs with the succession and meditation as a noise regulatory process. I am not denying that ultimate aim of the meditation to reach at Kaivalya. But what is happening in the brain during meditation, we are trying to unfold the process. Now, you can ask me, what are the various issues and limitations in the current meditation research? This is not only problem in Indian experiments, it prevails all over the world, in all the laboratories. I can tell you a few, then you will understand why I am going to propose a different type of concept to understand states of meditation. Normally, the scientists in various labs, they choose one particular word called deep meditator. So I said already that they choose 2 groups of people who are trained meditator, another group which is untrained meditator. Now, among the trained meditator, they choose deep meditator. But what is meant by deep meditator? There lies the problem. They had a usual definition. They said, who practiced more than 10,000 hours of practices in their life, they are called deep meditator. But we have a question at this juncture. All of us know Shankaracharya, at the age of 5, he became enlightened. So I don't think he needs practices of 10,000 hours of meditation to become enlightened. So I think something is missing to understand the deep meditator. Unless we understand what is a deep meditator, it is a challenge to all meditation research. Again, there are other problems, like I have already told that various type of techniques people are using. And scientists, they are putting these subject or meditator under the scanner like EEG, fMRI, and MEG. Say suppose somebody is practicing vipassana or mindfulness practices. Then he or she does not practice other kind of meditation practices. But the problem is that if you practice one particular type of meditation, then it will change and it will make some anatomical changes at the neuronal level, say plasticity or some other things will change. So our issue is that whether a person who can practice a particular type of meditation, say vipassana, after 4 or 5 years or whenever he thinks that he has reached to that enlightened state, whether he can practice other kinds of meditation so that we can find what are the effect of these 2, 3, or 4 types of meditation. In this context, let me mention you the experience of Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Ramakrishna Paramahansa told that he has practiced all types of meditation, but he reached to the same stage. I don't know whether we will be able to find such kind of subject to put under the scanner and see what happened to their brain function. So I am telling you the limitations. The limitations are like I told you Ramakrishna, and that kind of subject, whether we can find it. So the issue is, the simple issue is, we need to categorize or classify the different states of meditation with a particular type of concept like degree of coherence, which is very much useful. There are other types of parameters, as I told you, blood flow and others, but we don't think that can be treated as a good measure or good parameter. So what is this degree of coherence? In physics, we have already elaborated. I mean, this is very well-established concept that there are 2 types of coherence. One is called spatial coherence, another is temporal coherence. So I'm not going into details because this is a technical things. You can see what is the time dependence and wavefront. Then there are different measures, how to measure the degree of temporal coherence and how to measure degree of spatial coherence. Because in modern EEG machine, there is inbuilt program for degree of spatial coherence. What is meant by degree of spatial coherence? As I told you, you take 2 groups of neurons at 2 different places of a particular cortex, and then you try to find out the phase relations between these 2 groups of neurons. And calculating the phase difference, you can calculate a term called degree of coherence, which lies between 0 and 1. What is temporal coherence? You can remain in a particular place and you can look at the changes in the phase during the process of meditation. And there is a parameter in this type of coherence, which is called temporal coherence. It is also lies between 0 and 1. There is characteristics time scale. So why I am emphasizing the characteristics time scale? Because this time scale indicates how long one subject, one person, he or she can stay in a particular meditation state. Because scriptures say in the beginning, the people will reach to a particular state, then immediately he or she comes back. Maybe after some practices, he can stay to a particular state for a long time. And we need to estimate whether this characteristic time scale is different for different people or different in different states. And then the next level, next state, we can also calculate the characteristics time scale. So in that way, it may be possible to characterize the states of meditation. But somebody, you can ask me, well, it is also possible that somebody can reach spontaneously to the high state. Yes, that is possible. And it is also, we are trying to characterize this spontaneously evolving to a particular or very deep state. Is it possible to characterize it mathematically? So that we can build the program in the machine like EEG or MEG, and we can estimate it. And this question of deep meditator or not, that will be resolved. This is the pictorially we can show you the mutual degree of coherence and mutual coherence functions mathematically. If somebody is interested from mathematical point of view to write a program for the machine, he or she can use this kind of program. Now, there are some issues like in modern research. I mean, the research published just 26 July 2022. In case of schizophrenic patient, it is found that the time called subjective time in schizophrenic patient that changes. And by measuring the subjective time, this we can characterize that a person is schizophrenic or not. This is very tricky questions. We are not going into details, but the recent paper which published in just 26 July, they say that the subjective time and self, they changes during meditation. So we are thinking whether the concept of subjective time also plays a certain parameter to characterize the different states of meditation, as well as it will help us to have some prevention or to some cure, not cure, to some benefit or well-being to the schizophrenic patient. Because statistically it is found that 1% of the population of the world, where they are suffering from schizophrenia. Now, very technical question. We have a machine like EEG machine. It is used in everyday world in almost all the hospitals. So the issue is how to analyze the data which are getting in EEG machine, and how can I analyze the noise. If we analyze the noise from the data, then it is possible immediately to find out the degree of coherence and its importance. But the noise analysis from the data is also very difficult task. We have tried to model it, how to analyze the noise from the EEG data. I mean, there are some standard practices, but also there are some problems. But again, there are some challenges in noise analysis. What are the challenges? Say, the noise, what we are getting in EEG data, that noise may come from external stimulus. What is meant by that? That suppose a person is in a wrong posture. So because of the wrong posture, because of the muscle contraction or muscle relaxation, some kind of noise may be generated. But this kind of noise can be taken care by modern EEG machine. That is not the big challenge. But the big challenge, the noise arising from the neuronal level. What is meant by that? Because at the neuronal level, there are many sources of noise. One, I told you that in case of ion channel, which are responsible for information propagation in the brain, that noise generated by the opening and closing of the gate of the channel, and this noise corrupts the cognitive function also. Noise generated by synapses. And also, in case of schizophrenia or in case of tinnitus also, or many other neuronal disorder cases, some internal, in case of schizophrenia, the schizophrenic patient, they have a kind of auditory hallucination. Like they think that somebody is speaking internally to him or her to direct something like that, or he or she see some images. So these are not coming from external stimulus. These are the examples of internal noise. So the main problem in noise analysis in EEG data, how to distinguish the noise from various sources. If we can distinguish, then we can have an immense possibility to understand or characterize different states of meditation from this noise analysis. As I told you that what are the sources of noise, cellular level, macroscopic level, or stimulus noise. So this is the picture of the ion channel. I told you that this is a port in the protein, and this pore, the dimension of this pore is at the nanoscale. And here the ion enters here, then the gate is closed, then there is some activity, and after certain time it comes out from here. So this opening and closing of this gate produces some kind of noise called channel noise, which comes even to the level of cognition. So what we say, that meditation essentially, I mean from scientific point of view, we can say that it regulates the noise also. I mean, we are not saying again that ultimate aim of the meditation to regulate noise. We are saying to attain kaivalya, but from the scientific point of view, underlying process is a kind of noise regulated process. There is another challenge. I said two categories of samadhi or meditation. One is sampragnata samadhi, another is asampragnata samadhi. In case of sampragnata samadhi, the whole community or scientific and traditional community, they agreed that this is related with cognitive activity. But in case of asampragnata samadhi, there is a kind of confusion, and people say either it is a cognitive state, that it is not associated with cognitive activity, and some people say no, still there is cognitive activity. In this case, I'm tempted to give one example of Ramakrishna Paramahansa. He told that a doll made of salt, he wants to measure the depth of the ocean. As soon as he goes into the ocean, he melted away. So this is like asampragnata samadhi. I don't know whether at that state, the cognitive activities are there or not. But again, this is different from deep sleep, because in the deep sleep, we say that we are not aware of the sleep. But in case of deep meditation, say asampragnata samadhi, what exists kind of awareness. So whether that awareness is a kind of cognitive activity, I don't know about it. I need your suggestions or valuable opinion that what happens in asampragnata samadhi. What I am interested, because in that case, if we find a subject who can reach to that asampragnata samadhi, whether we are able to characterize that state scientifically with coherence or any other parameter. So these are the, in a nutshell, these are the challenges to modern meditation research. This is a challenge to science, neuroscience, physics, etc. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Sisir Roy. Very illuminating lecture, and he's trying to find out the scientific verification of this meditation, yoga, all these ancient Indian techniques, and he's trying to suggest certain ways also how to just verify, how the verification methods he's also suggesting, just like the degree of coherence, and he has given so many questions to be pondered over by us. Now the house is open for questions, and I think Professor Chand Bharadwaj, he would like to say something. Professor Chand Bharadwaj. Shishirji, I think you
Thank
can.
you very.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I would like to say a few points.
Yes.
And it is something wonderful. Sisir Roy ji has explained things in so many details. I would like to add few things here. That many years back here in Delhi, in All India Institute of Medical Sciences, along with Dr. Kuchupile and Manveer Bhatia, she was a neurologist, we made a trial, the people came from, Shri Ravi Shankar, that particular type of meditation, and they were from many others. So 9 people had gone from our side, where we are doing this Surat Shabad Yoga. In this, the meditation means that the surat is attention, and it has to be rather connected to the shabad, to the nad, which is emanating from the source all the time. We are connected. So practically it is withdrawal of attention. It is not focusing of attention. So this attention which is going through the mind and through the body goes downwards and outwards into the world through the senses of the body. So this attention which has spread all over, because attention is like an omni-scanner, which is the outer expression of the soul. And that soul is connected to its source in real time, which is absolute intelligence and a capable force that energizes the whole cosmos. And it energizes each living entity at the same time. The whole cosmos is one living entity having three basics: a floating material bodies made out of elements, then the universal mind, magnetic gravitational fields, plus laws of nature, chemistry, physics, maths, is everything is there, plus the absolute intelligence capable force as explained in particle and wave theory, that the particle behaves intelligently. Creation is an intelligent design. So keeping these, some of those points, how to really develop that cosmic cognitive restructuring with an aim to really do this sustainable human transformation by making them understand that we have got an acquired mind and a created body. So let me go back to the experiments we did in All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Was that we did 3 different tests, on different people having different techniques of meditation. Unfortunately, all this material got burnt, the computer was on fire after all these drills, and unfortunately we lost all that data. But here I would like to inform you that the first test was alert mode. The people who are meditating, how much alert they are. So they were testing medically that how alert you are by putting certain sounds in your ears, and then you can count them with a button, and that's how they evaluated for 20 minutes. The next test was about 45 minutes of a relaxed mode meditation, where they could see all that EEG and ECG, etc., where a person was more relaxed, And then the third was for 1.5 hours of deep meditation, where you had the experiences of those ecstasies. Now, there is a lot of thing to be done because we lost all that data. We can do it again with the help of Dr. Sisir Roy or Dr. Ravi Prakash ji can organize certain things. So I was to say these few major points which we really worked on it, because once you hear the inner sound by closing your ears and by closing your eyes, you are just withdrawing that attention where these 2 optical nerves of the eye meet, That's the location, we may call it as third eye. And that is the location which is connected through the ears also to this location. Now, light and sound has to be experienced. And this is how you really practically de-link from the body. You de-link your attention from the mind, which has got so many layers. And then you withdraw it within yourself, and where you have that blissful experience of the sound like veena. There are many sounds. It starts from the cricket sound, in the ear, and then gradually if you tune your attention to listen to the deeper sounds, then you can go below 20 hertz and above 20,000 hertz. And through your attention, you can really tune your listening ability, because attention is everything. Attention is a single sensor of all the senses in the body. That's how we've been working on it. And I need that if Dr. Sisir Roy can really guide us on all this, and we can really give those experiences, that how those ecstatic experiences were there, feelings of those love. And there are many disciples here. My mother is more than 102 years now, and she's been doing it for a long time, and many people been initiated here, and they do this practice. So this is what I wanted to tell Dr. Sisir Roy and Ravi Prakash ji, small observations and what all we did on meditation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your valuable comments. Yeah, some recent works have been done already, and not in India, but outside India, on attention and how it help us to understand the meditation in states of meditation. But this is also in the infancy stage. We need to do more work, and then we need the help from the people like you. In Bangalore, we have some facilities of uh, imaging technique like MEG or EEG or fMRI.
Good.
Sir, we will be very happy to join hands with you to really study a little more on it, because we are working on a new area known as spiritual literacy for school children. We are developing that human values, ethics, skills, habits, and wisdom development program based on this, which we call it as co-aim theory and practice, which is correlation of your attention, which is the outer expression of the soul, which is connected to its source. I means information, which is your mind. M means material, which is your body. So how the material information and the creative intelligence, which is connected to absolute, works, So this is how we really work on it, how to withdraw this attention to that location, completely delinking your attention from body and mind and link it to the source. Because through Brahmarandra, to that particular location, we are already connected. Each life is connected. It is only how this attention, which has gone through the mind and through the body, through the senses of the body, it goes downwards and outwards into the world. Jo kabhi dekha tha, whatever you had seen, heard, smelled, tasted and touched. Because through the senses, the attention is going out into the whole world. And all that time, past and future, it goes into that. And these layers of mind, the universal mind, we call it as causal mind, where we took a decision to come in and had this Ardhanareshwar part, how to really come and feel. The cause was to come and feel the creation. So we further refined that causal mind and causal body into an astral mind and an astral body, where we could have the complete sense perceptions, because we are a capable force that way. So we developed all that from a single cell to the crown of creation, the human body. And that's how we became, as soon as we became human beings, we became selfish, sir. Until now, we are becoming multiplied selfish people. So we were to become selfless people. So we are using this technique where you get connected to the absolute and the gush of knowledge starts flowing from your mind and body. It comes into your behavior. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Bharadwaj. Now we have Dr. Arun Upadhyay also with us. In fact, he is also a practitioner of yoga, and several times he says that he has survived death with the help of the yogic practices also. Now I would like to invite him if he wants to give certain comments or say something. Dr. Upadhyay.
Thank you, Dr. Arjaji. About memory and retention, I want to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation has aim of moksha. Moksha doesn't mean that after death we are not reborn, etc. Moksha is within this life itself. That how much we are disassociated from other subjects. If we withdraw our mind from various divergent subjects, then we can perceive a subject in a better way, and we can retain the memory. This is one thing. And about noise also, in meditation, there has been a lot of research by Maharshi Mahesh Yogi Institute, by Tony Nadar, and one Japanese scientist, Hiroshi Mutayama. Mutayama work has been published by Satyananda Yoga Vidyalaya, Munger. So one of the aims of meditation is memory, perception, memory, and retention, and how we can recall it. These are the stages of memory. In about 100 years ago, there were many persons in India who memorized the whole Vedic Samhita. Even now in South India, there are some persons who memorize the complete Yajurveda or Taittiriya Samhita. And there is a role of coherence because they are in chandas. It helps in memorizing. So chand creates a coherence in the mind. And about noise also, there are 9 different levels have been identified in Vedic literature and explained in detail by the Tantric literature. In Vedas, we absolute lack of noise is called Parame Vyoman, Param Vyom, and noise levels are in Antariksha. So we tell Antariksha Gwang Shanti. So we want that Antariksha should be Shant. So Antariksha are of 3 types and each are divided into 3. So there are 9 types of noise level and 10th type is the absence of complete absence of noise. So they have parallel with the stages of creation in the universe and 9 time scales of creation. So that is different thing. But successive reduction of noise is one of the aims of our meditation. That is called Anahat Nad. What Professor Sisir was telling, that there is a sound of motion of blood in vessels, nadi, cellular functions, etc. So we have not gone into detail, but these things are mentioned in our literature, that these are causing internal noises within the human body, and these should be eliminated. Another use is that psychosomatic disease. Means most of the diseases to some extent are related to mind, and these are explained in detail in Ayurvedic literature. But my point is that how to develop memory, which earlier scholars like Swami Dayanand Saraswati or many others in his time were memorizing the complete Vedic Sangita, and such persons are rare now. How to improve that? That is the problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I can add only one comment. Not comment, I mean, it's addition that Maharshi Mahesh Yogi, he was the man who first introduced to use the term coherent in understanding meditation.
I see.
So
Anybody
after
else
that,
who-
people took this term and they discussed in many different contexts.
So anybody else who wants to ask any question or say something? So I think nobody wants to ask any question. So I let me summarize it. So Professor Sisir Roy, he has given a very beautiful presentation regarding coherence, noise, and meditation, their scientific verification, how to verify scientifically all these things. And this is a challenge for scientists also. And there are so many researches going on in different fields, and the people, they are doing researches, as he told, with the deep meditators and non-meditators. And he defined the deep meditators as a person who has done practice of meditation for 10,000 hours. He will be known as a deep meditator. I don't think from the yogic point of view this is the right you know definition of a deep meditator. Even a person, if he is doing meditation for 10,000 hours, he cannot be the meditator as described yoga darshan. And even a child who has not done meditation even for 30 hours or 50 hours, he can be a good meditator. So these are the different scales the scientists and the researchers, they have devised themselves. And a very beautiful thing he told, that this noise defined, the unwanted variation is the noise he is. And also quotes regarding, when he talks about the states of meditation, he quotes Bhavana Kram of Buddhists and Jnana Arnava of Jainis and Yoga Darshan. But whatever stages of samadhi or meditation Patanjali has given, the Jain system or Buddhist system, it is quite different, that cannot be aligned, or that cannot be categorized as per Yoga Darshan. In fact, there is a long system in Yoga Darshan. When he says Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, Professor Bharadwaj rightly described here. Patanjali wants to say that the withdrawal of the mind from all external sources of information or external world. If you want to withdraw your mind, if you are able to withdraw your mind from external world, that is known as yoga. Once the mind is withdrawn, that then it can be focused, it can be meditated, and it can be utilized for any type of activity. So the first thing he says, withdrawal of mind. Then again he says dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. There are different stages. Dhyan is also one. Dharana is focusing the mind. When you are going through that dharana and dhyan system, then the memory and everything can be retained. That is one of the you can say the side effect of controlling or withdrawal of the mind and further practice. So these stages have been Patanjali in Yoga Darshan, he describes the different stages of mind when you are going to withdraw yourself from the your mind from the external world. And when a mind with information from outside world, that is known as chitta, and a mind devoid of any information from outside world, that is known as chitta. So that is why he says yoga chitta vritti nirodha. He's not saying that the withdrawal of the chitta, but he wants to say that the vrittis of the chitta, withdrawal of the mind with information from outside world, that is yoga. And one more thing, Professor Sisir Roy says that certain people, there is a confusion, or there is a, we can say, the difference of opinion between samprajat samadhi and asamprajat samadhi. When we study samprajat and asamprajat samadhi from Patanjali's point of view, he clearly says there are three things. One is the seer, drishta, and one is the drishya, the sight, and the contents. So when the drishta, when a people is aware, means in samadhi also, in samprajat samadhi there is awareness. When a seeker or a meditator is aware of himself, means seer, the sight and the contents, what he is seeing. So this awareness of all the three is known as samprajata samadhi. And when the awareness of all the three things that is merged into one itself, or the awareness of the self remains, that is known as samprajat samadhi. So the awareness is there, whether it is samprajat samadhi or whether it is samprajat samadhi, but the level of awareness changes there itself at samprajat and asamprajat samadhi. And similarly, he also gives one of the definition of meditation is meditation is a noise regulatory process. No doubt it is a noise regulatory process, but Patanjali and other scholars, when they worked on the yoga, they have not worked on yoga system from this basic point of view. Yeah, this is one of the side results we are getting with the meditation, and for modern physicists and researchers, it may be also a very useful and very interesting topic to study, because when you are meditating, there will be no noise. Even it is said, he talks about that spatial and this temporal system. We have so many references from history that when some yogi meditates and when he comes out of samadhi, he found that many years have passed. So the subjective time scale is not there. The time lapses very fast when a person goes into samadhi and when he comes out, and similarly the spatial difference remains no longer. A yogi sitting at one place, he can visualize even the things at another planets also. So this is also something. But if we want to do some scientific studies, and I think Professor Roy has given a very good suggestion and method also, the degree of this coherence, because through this, if we utilize or we just apply this type of things, I think many more good results through for the study of yoga or the effect of yoga can be found. So I thank everybody, and especially Professor Sisir Roy, who presented such an interesting and illuminating lecture. And his lecture also opens up the doors of research on yoga and he also gives us suggests different methods to go with the research on effect of yoga. And because more and more scientists today, everybody, or all the researchers, they are more interested in doing the study of yoga. But we find there is a scarcity of good meditators in the sense of Patanjali's Yoga Darshan. No doubt in late 20th century, in 19th century, we could have the good meditators, just like Devaraha Baba, Neem Karoli Baba. But that type of sages or the yogis or Ramakrishna Paramhans like that yogis, they are not there. So whatever subjects we have presently, based upon the present subjects, whatever type of practices they are doing, we can do researches. But certainly when we'll start these researches, we'll be able to reach to certain conclusions to some extent, which will be beneficial for future researches also. So I thank all my friends from the audience. We have our friends from different countries, from Ireland, from British Guyana, from Canada, from USA, from India. And this was a cream of the audience, I can say. The people who are doing a lot of researches in their field, doing a lot of work, they have attended it. So again, I'm going to thank everybody for making this a very useful session a success.
Professor Ravi Arya,
Yeah.
Prakash Iyer, I think Chand Bharadwaj, he has raised a hand. Maybe he
Okay.
has.
Sanji, yes, if you want to say something.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you very much for allowing me something, As you were saying that it is withdrawal of the mind, because, we are three different entities here. One is a physical body. Of course, it has got trillions of cells in it. Each cell has got three basics: the material body, it has got a mind, individual mind of the cell, and the creative intelligence in that. So what I was trying to say, it is withdrawal of attention, not withdrawal of mind, sir. Mind is connected to the universal mind, and then it has got the causal mind, astral and physical. So it has got those layers. So we got to de-link from the senses, and it has to go beyond that. And that is what is known as withdrawal of attention. I would like to suggest a very good video of Anita Moorjani, where she really left the body and she was in the state of mind, higher minds like astral mind, where she could be everywhere. And as you very rightly said, Ravi Prakash ji said that the sages can go to the other planets also while meditating. So they are now rising from the astral region to the causal and maybe universal also. But to go beyond the universal mind is an area, which is what is exactly the withdrawal of attention. And that is what is within you. And you can withdraw this attention where these two optical nerves, they meet at the center of the head where the ears are also connected. They form the picture at the back. So that is what is the location, if we keep withdrawing there within that area. So we have not to go anywhere because we are the center of the whole universe, each one of us. So this is how I would like to request Sisir ji also and Dr. Ravi Prakash ji to really work, and we will find out those meditators which you are looking for, that who can really withdraw their attention to that level. So that as we did, about 9 people from our organization many years back went to AIMS, for all these studies. So we will organize and see something which can be done on this. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Yeah.
So, if anybody wants to say something. So thank you everybody for being with us today.
Oh, somebody has raised hand. You can.
Yeah, Dev Sharma ji. Dev Sharma ji. Dev Sharma ji, you want to say something?
जी जी
Yeah.
सबसे पहले तो मैं सभी को प्रणाम करता हूँ, अभिनंदन करता हूँ आप सभी का। बहुत सुंदर विषय आप लोगों ने लिया और मेरा पीएचडी का विषय भी यही रहा है और मैं इस विषय को सुन नहीं सका हूँ। मैं 8 बजे जुड़ा हूँ, लेकिन अभी मैं इस विषय पर एक रिसर्च कर रहा हूँ जहाँ गया में श्राद्ध करने से मुक्ति हो जाती है। वहाँ स्वामी जी ये कहना चाहते हैं कि गया एक गया संजक प्राण है और उस प्राण में साधना करने से मुक्ति होती है और परमात्मा की प्राप्ति होती है। तो उस चीज को मैंने जब देखा कि गया तो प्राणों को कहा गया है और प्राणों को गायत्री में कहा गया है, गायत्री से जोड़ा गया है और गायत्री से परमात्मा को जोड़ा गया है, तो वहां त्रेधा 3 बात कहेगी। जो गायत्री है वो त्रिगमना है, अर्थात वो 3 पादों वाली है, 3 पादों का वर्णन करती है और वो पृथ्वी से अंतरिक्ष, अंतरिक्ष से द्युलोक और द्युलोक से स्वरलोक, ऐसा उसका वर्णन करते हैं। और मैंने जो इस विद्या पर की कैसे हम अपने ओज को अपने मस्तिष्क तक पहुंचाएं ताकि वहां मस्तिष्क हमारा सूर्य की तरह से चमकने लगे, ज्ञान से ओतप्रोत हो जाए और वो जैसे स्वामी जी ने लिखा है कि जैसे जल में गोता लगा करके आनंदित होते हैं उस प्रकार से नाड़ियों में एक बात और बड़ी विशेष मुझे मिली है। स्वामी जी लिखते हैं सीरा युंजंती कवय, तो वो कह रहे हैं कि नाड़ियों में आत्मा से परमात्मा की धारणा की जाती है। ये बात मुझे बड़ी महत्वपूर्ण मिली है और बहुत अच्छी लगी है मुझे। पर नाड़ियों में कैसे हम ध्यान करेंगे, कैसे आत्मा से परमात्मा की धारणा करेंगे, तो ये बात मुझे इस प्राण विद्या से, जहाँ भू भुव स्व तीनों व्याहृतियां हैं, तो कैसे पृथ्वी से, कैसे पृथ्वी लोक से स्वर लोक तक की यात्रा है, तो ये यात्रा प्राणों की यात्रा है, प्राण साधना है ये। तो मैं प्राण साधना के विषय में थोड़ा सा ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि मेरी ये एक मैंने साधना इस तरह की हुई है कि किस प्रकार से प्राणों को मूलेंद्रिय से, मूलाधार चक्र से उठा करके आप सुषुम्ना नाड़ी से अपने मस्तिष्क तक कैसे लेके आएंगे। और मैंने योग में पीएचडी की है, पर मैं आपको ये कहना चाहता हूं जो वेद मंत्र योग के रहस्यों को खोलते हैं और जो बारीकी से उनको समझाने का प्रयास करते हैं, और इस गय प्राण साधना को करके जो मैंने शांति प्राप्त की है और जो मस्तिष्क को फर्टिलिटी उसमें आई है, जो बहुत ही कीन ऑब्जर्वेशन आया है, जो धियो योनः प्रचोदयात् के माध्यम से, वो बड़ी महत्वपूर्ण चीज मुझे लगी है। और मुझे कभी अवसर देंगे तो मैं इसको बहुत विस्तार से यहाँ पर बोलने का प्रयास करूंगा। धन्यवाद, नमस्ते जी।
Okay. Thank you, Dev Sharma ji. He is also pointing out to the same thing with some quotation from the yoga, from the Veda, defined by Maharshi Dayanand Saraswati. And accordingly, if a yogi meditates, means that meditation is also going to affect your neuronal system. And so I think it also confirms or validate the point of Professor Sisir Roy, the study of the neurons, the effect of the meditation on neuron. This study requires to be done for further research. So anybody else? Now I would like to close this session. So I thank Professor Sisir Roy, Professor Chand Bharadwaj, Professor Arun Kumar Upadhyay, Dr. Ramesh Sugrim, Dr. Claudia, Dev Sharma ji, Bhai Ashwini Rajpal, Ram Singh Verma ji, Nitin Mehendi Ratta, Neha Dubey, Madhvi Reddy, Kishore Arya, and all others who Professor Bhoop Singh and other Dr. Alka Arya, who attended this session very attentively and spare their precious time or valuable time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.